So this is the latch, that's the lip. This connector obviously goes like this. In any case, if you try to put it backwards, it will not fit. So again, they were smart enough to think of that. And also, as you drop these things in, start making sense about the way you want to route all of these cables. In a way, you want to route these cables to try to leave this area free, because it's very important that the airflow is not interrupted by a bunch of things and it's cluttered and it looks ugly. And you know, a professional job will look neat, and if it looks neat, it will work well. So let's interrupt here just a second and let's go to this bundle of cables over here that's tied by a tie wrap over here. I'm going to cut the tie wrap. I'll do the best I can with what I got. Okay. So these cables are going to be connected to the motherboard. Okay. And these cables correspond to your front USB, the FireWire, the headphones, the microphone, and all that. Okay, so for the time being, I just free them, leave them over here, and I go back to my main cable. Maybe, since later on there's going to be nothing that's going to be inserted over here, maybe I want to run this cable this way. Okay, and then I will secure it with a tie wrap here, and I will drop it right into place here. Can you see that? It's going to be dropped right in here. And again, zero force, well, no zero, I mean you're going to apply a little pressure, but that's it. And I felt the latch over here, this latch that latched onto the lip. And in fact, if I try to pull it, well, obviously, now you see, it's a good thing I talked about that, because I just pulled it out and this thing came out. So obviously, it wasn't latched properly. I didn't push it hard enough. I'm going to do it again. Here we go, pushing it in. And now, it seems like it went in place. And in fact, I can pull on this thing and it's going nowhere. That's my main connector right there. See, cables, how you have to start thinking about routing the cables in a neat way. Not cables everywhere, and because again, that's important for the airflow. And later on we'll see that when we put the fans. Okay, so I'm gonna look at the other cables over here. Now, there should be a cable that matches this connector right here. You see, it's a four pin connector, and that's you will locate it over here. Normally, there is not confusion, because again, we will only probably find one 4-pin connector. See, this is 6, this is 6, so not good. This is 8, not good. These are our SATA power, so I will talk about them later. Well, there was one cable that we left out, and look at this. There is a 4-prong connector, and that's exactly what I was looking for. So again, pull all of your dreadlocks out of the way, and you got this cable. You want to route it in a way where this is going to reach its place, but the cable is sort of out of the way. Not every single cable that comes out of a power supply needs to be connected somewhere. In most cases, power supplies need to cover a very large arrays of motherboards. That's why they come with extra connectors. In this case, this connector will never be connected anywhere. But, very important, what we want to make sure is that we don't leave this connector floating around. The reason being is because this connector has power in here, and you have places on the motherboard, I will show you, like this. I don't know if you can zoom in and grab this detail, where there is metallic prong coming out here, there is metallic prongs coming out of here, there is metallic prongs coming out of here. So if you leave this thing just floating around, maybe one of those prongs gets into contact with one of these contacts over here, and you may create a short, you may damage the motherboard, you may damage the power supply. So we want to make sure that this thing is not free to roam around the board. So, number one, we want to connect this over here. Same concept, there is always a latch and there is always a lip. I don't know if you can see this little detail over here. This is the lip right here. Can you see that? Good. Okay, so also the connectors are shaped in a way that this can only go, even if there was no latch, even if there was no lip, but this connector can go in there only in one way. So it cannot go like this or like this or like this. It can only go one way because they're shaped in a way that there is only one match, there is only one position that's going to match, and it's going to be the right position. But I will use my, as a guide, I will use my latch and the lip, and if that's correct, this should go in there easily. In fact, it's going there just like no problem. And it latched, it clicked. I can tell because it's very secure, I can pull on this thing, it's not going anywhere. Okay? Now, I want to think about a couple of things. First of all, could I have routed this behind here as well? Maybe yes. I'm going to unplug it by pushing on this latch so it comes out easily. And I'm going to go maybe through here because I like this. It sort of like takes off slack that's totally unwanted. I'm going to put back this thing in here. Okay, I would like for the light to really show here what I'm doing. Here I just grabbed another extra light to show exactly what is it that I'm doing here. So as you can see, latch lined up with the lip, and there you go, popping it in, see? And that's it, a lock. Again, we got this thing that's sort of like a little bit free to go. Don't like it very much. I may want to secure, although I don't want to get things in the way of. Okay, see, maybe this is what I can do. I can just pop a tie wrap here because this cable will not be able to touch anything if I tie it over here. If this is like this, then this cable is free to go and touch a bunch of things, but if I make it a little tighter over here, we should be fine. Now, forgot to mention earlier, you should have a little bit of little tie wraps over here. They are extremely convenient to do this kind of job, so this is what I'll do. So I'll put a tie wrap right around here, like this. And before making it real tight, I will put another one through it, secure the tie wrap.